Well, good morning. Wow, what an amazing audience we've got here today. And I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you on behalf of the college, to our partners, to our colleagues, and indeed to many of our students who are engaging in this incredibly exciting programme. We're really delighted that you've joined us this morning for the launch of the Althea-Imperial Programme. And this is Imperial's first programme for entrepreneurship, with an emphasis on bringing through the next generation of women. We're incredibly privileged to have with us this morning two really successful and indeed inspiring entrepreneurs, Sherry Coutu and Dame Stephanie Shirley. Now, I have to say this, that we are not planning to have a fire alarm this morning, so if you hear one, sharp exit, please. I'd like to first of all welcome our president, Professor Alice Gast, who will also welcome you to the university. Alice, thank you.
Thank you. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you here this morning, and I'm so pleased to have so many wonderful people here supporting this initiative, so many tremendous entrepreneurs in the audience, so many wonderful women, and so many beautiful portraits of men on the walls. Being relatively new myself, I wake up every morning and am so excited by what I read and learn about what is going on at Imperial College London. And I hope that those of you who are visiting us and haven't been here in a while will take some time today to explore the hallways and the laboratories and talk to our academics and our students about all that is happening here. But it's particularly wonderful this morning when there's an opportunity to be part of something that will fundamentally change the landscape. And this is one such moment to remember. This is a very special moment. We at Imperial believe that entrepreneurship and women go together, and we're here to launch a program, the Althea-Imperial Programme, that will make that belief a reality. So Imperial College London is a tremendously entrepreneurial place. People are passionate about their work, they're inventive, they're innovative, and they're entrepreneurial. We're also emphatic about women and their contributions to the world in science, engineering, business, and medicine. And we're proud to be pioneers in the Athena Swan Awards, and we're intent on ensuring that women play a pivotal role in addressing the problems of the world today. So it was a great privilege for me recently to meet a woman who is passionate about science, about entrepreneurship, about innovation, and about women. Alexis de St. James is a remarkable entrepreneur and is a person who sees the opportunity in providing resources to smart women. She knows that great things will come from this investment. Alexis founded the Althea Foundation, and through it she's shown the power in philanthropy directed at people, ideas, and initiatives that inspire them with their ingenuity, humanity, and social impact. The Althea-Imperial Programme is one such inspirational idea, I believe. It is relatively simple in concept. It is one of those things that makes you wonder why nobody has done it before. Yet it is a pivotal opportunity to invest in and develop the next generation of female entrepreneurs. The Althea-Imperial Programme will offer students the opportunity to develop their ideas through a range of developmental sessions featuring high-profile speakers such as we have today, one-on-one mentoring, and support to prepare their pitches for our judging panel and, of course, for funders in the future. And yes, there is a prize. Competing for this prize gives every student the chance to develop their ideas. I want to give thanks also to the incredibly inspirational entrepreneurs who are here with us today, and I'm sure that they will be providing inspiration for our students in the years and months to come. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank some special people who have agreed to serve as judges for the Althea-Imperial Prize. I'm afraid they're working on our flat upstairs, but I'm a chemical engineer and I'm the plumber, so I should be up there making sure they're doing it correctly. I'd like to thank the people who have agreed to serve as judges. Phil Cox, the head of EMEA in India and president of the UK bank, Silicon Valley Bank. I'm not sure whether these people are here. If they are, please identify yourselves. Representative, thank you. Wendy Tan White, founder of Moonfruit. Kate Bingham, managing partner of SV Life Sciences. And Krishna Visvanathan, partner of DFJ Esprit. Lisa Mitchell, founder Networks for Scale. Right. They're wonderful. And thank you all for your support. I hope you enjoy your morning with us, and welcome.
Thank you, Alice, and I think they've stopped upstairs now. So to our first external speaker, Sherry Coutu. As well as being an incredibly successful entrepreneur in her own right, she has been a dedicated supporter of other women in their journeys in entrepreneurship. Most recently, she put together Founders for Schools, which enables teachers to arrange for founders of successful, growing businesses to visit their schools and inspire their young pupils. She also founded SVC2 UK, which brings leading Silicon Valley entrepreneurs, investors, and thought leaders to the UK to explore ideas and to ignite local entrepreneurship. She was voted TechCrunch by TechCrunch as the best CEO, mentor, and advisor in Europe in November 2010. In May 2011, she was voted by Wired magazine as one of the top 25 most influential people in the Wired world and one of the top 10 most influential investors and women. She was awarded a CBE in 2013 for services to entrepreneurship. Sherry, we are absolutely privileged to have you here with us this morning. Thank you so much for joining us and lending your presence to this wonderful occasion. Over to you.
Thank you. I couldn't be more delighted to be here, I must say. So thank you for thinking of me, and thank you for conceiving this really important prize. It was 1994 when I set up my first startup, and it was a high-tech software company. And I wouldn't have done that if it weren't for a very important role model who was in this room in the form of Dame Shirley. And at the time, I was doing a master's at the London School of Economics in economics. And I learned about this fabulous world of technology and the impact that it could have upon the world. And I thought, what am I doing? I want to learn all about programming. So my first job right after getting my MSc was as a programmer. And it started the ball rolling which has been fascinating, and a beautiful, flexible career that has allowed me to have 3 fabulous children and a really interesting time. After my company started up, I then floated it on London and NASDAQ, and then I started taking a portfolio where sometimes I invest, and I've now invested in more than 55 companies since becoming a programmer because of you. Those companies have operations in 70 countries and employ more than 20,000 people, and the revenue last year that they had was $3.5 billion. So it's quite interesting to think of the impact that I can't imagine how many other people you have done that for, but it's a great thing. I think role models are really important. That's also why this is an important prize, and why I also set up Founders for Schools, which you spoke about. And I'm allowed to fan my entrepreneurial sort of flames now with that, which I'm excited to do. Having said that, I still think we have quite a long way to go, which is why we need to keep on doing these sorts of things, particularly in STEM. I think some of the statistics that there are in STEM are dramatically alarming, and 95% drop-off between GCSE and A-level is not acceptable. Having 50% of our state schools with not one girl taking an A-level in physics is not going to get us to where we need to be. I think there are, again, going through some of the other things, women-led businesses only get 4.2% of VC funds, which is really, I'm very excited about your fund, what you do in the other part of your portfolio life, is very, very important to all of us. I think data also shows that venture capital firm with just a single female partner is 70% more likely to invest in female co-founded businesses. So we need to get more women also choosing to go into finance, though I do think being a physicist and doing something as an entrepreneur is probably slightly higher calling. Maybe you want to run your own company first and then become a VC, like some of the other people in this room. The UK, at the moment, we're being outperformed by the US. And I am a Canadian, by the way. I don't know if you mentioned that, but I'm always very sensitive about having grown up in a lumber town called Prince George with 78 frost-free days and being the first person, I'm so glad to be here. So many ways. However, in the comparisons to the US, a woman in the US is twice as likely to follow an entrepreneurial path than here. And there's no reason for that to be the case any longer. And I think that we can close that gap ideally. I think we should aim on closing the next 5 to 10 years and see what impact that has on the economy. I think there's some data here that suggests that it could be worth £40 billion to our economy just to close that gap between females who start up businesses here compared to the US. So that would be a good thing to do. I think George Osborne would be pleased if we were able to do that, and I think I would be very pleased, especially if my daughter chose to be one of those entrepreneurs. For the women, again, how much further we have to go. For the women that do work in technology, they're less likely to get onto the board. And again, I think that's a gap that we can close, and there's some great initiatives going on today that are working towards that. On the STEM gap, I do some work with the translation committee at the Royal Society, and they have forecast that there will be a shortage of more than 1 million STEM jobs in the next 10 years. Yet there's something like 50,000 people that are choosing to study STEM in our formal educational institutions, and I think that's something that we really must address. There are also 990,000 open jobs right now in the high-tech firms, and those jobs are not able to be filled because the people don't have the skills that are required, and those skills are largely STEM-type skills. So we all have a bit of a distance to go, but we're going to get there. There's some work that I've been doing recently on the scale-up gap, and that's looking at the proportion of businesses that get to scale in the UK compared to the US and actually 20 other countries. And the bad news is that we're not there yet. The good news is that I think we have everything in our power to get there in the next 10 to 20 years, because part of it is aimed at the skills gap. And I think there are things that we need to do at the university level that can have an impact in the next 5 to 10 years. I think there are things that we need to do at the primary and secondary school level which won't have impact for 15 to 20 years, but they're absolutely vital to focus all of our efforts on that. So how is this Althea-Imperial Innovation Prize and Scale Up going to address it? It will create lots and lots and lots of jobs. It will probably create just under $1 trillion of GDP growth in the next 20 years, assuming that we all work together in a collaborative fashion to close it. No one institution or foundation or government can close this gap, but together I think we can close it. And the examples that are all around the world give us inspiration of things that we can do and things that we can put, tools we can put into our toolkit to try. And I think we should try lots of things. I think there will be millions and millions of jobs that will come to the UK as a result of this and the role models that it will create. And I'm very, very excited about what the impact will be. I think also this will encourage more women to enter into STEM. Some of the other programs that are being run here at Imperial, like your elite program, will help those women prepare to take their businesses to scale, which is absolutely critical. And again, it's another very large prize, which is worth filling. I hope that this inspires a number of other foundations and institutions around the UK to institute other prizes like this, because it would be great if this were the first of many, and I would say not even here, but even on a global basis, because the problem isn't just the UK's alone. I think, for those of us in the room, we should all be, role models and mentors and help someone who needs it. And that's what you're doing. You're using your inspiration power and the convening power of two fabulous organizations to make a difference in a really important area. And this will be important for generations to come. The impact will happen for 10, 20, 50, 100 years. And that's a great thing. So thank you very much for inviting me. I couldn't be more delighted to be here. I think the impact will be profound on our economy and a lot of lives of a lot of people. So thank you. And
inspiring words, and thank you for highlighting some of the things that are very close to our hearts. The piece about women entering STEM education, the importance of universities in working with schools to address that issue, the amazing economic opportunities that there are if we draw more women into entrepreneurship. So that was a fantastic speech. So to our next speaker, Dame Stephanie Shirley, and it is such a privilege for me to introduce you this morning. Dame Stephanie has really a lifetime of expertise and experience in entrepreneurship, starting at a time when I just can't imagine what it would have been like to be a woman trying to set up a company at that time, Dame Stephanie. Dame Stephanie arrived in the UK, actually, as an unaccompanied child refugee in 1939. She started working in the civil service at the age of 18, taking a maths degree at evening class, and I think that is a lesson to all of us, the importance of math. In 1962, she founded a computer software company as a company of women and a company for women. It floated on the main London Stock Exchange and employed over 8,000 people, men and women, of course, when it was taken over by the French Styria in 2007. Her memoir, Let It Go, was published in 2012. And Dame Stephanie, we are so delighted to have you here this morning. Thank you so much for sparing the time to come and talk to us. Thank you.
Well, as you've heard, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't go to university. I studied at night school. It's lovely to be here at Imperial with the chandeliers and this illustrious audience. My purpose really here today is to launch the Althea-Imperial Prize. It's an award programme for innovation. And although everyone pays lip service to recognising women as well as men, this generous prize, and it is generous, is important in specific recognition of outstanding women in STEM areas: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. My love. And it's modelled on MIT experience, and I understand it's the largest such award in both the UK and the US. I'm here because, as you've heard, 50 years ago, over 50 years ago, as a mathematician, I did set up one of the very first high-tech software companies in the UK. And that alone was rare for mere women. Women aren't so mere anymore. But further, to circumvent the gender issues of the time, it was, as you've heard, a company of women, a company for women. I'm enormously proud of it because it did eventually get quite large. Somebody else grew it as it got bigger. I had to change my name from Stephanie to Steve in my business development letters so as to get through the door before anyone realised that he was a she. A letter from Steve Shirley got a response. But it couldn't have started smaller, literally with £6, worth about £100 in today's currency, and on my dining room table. Eventually, as a PLC with staff of over 8,000, it was acquired in 2007, and the acquirer, Steria, has since been acquired themselves, so it's now part of the Sogat Group. By that time, 70 of us had become millionaires. It's not just I that took the wealth. Because I believe in sharing success, and by taking the company into co-ownership, I managed to get 25% of the shares into the hands of the workforce at no cost to anyone but me. And that meant it was our company. I was modeled on the John Lewis partnership, and it really made a difference. It took off, it gave an enormous energy. And for young entrepreneurs, I do suggest sharing the potential growth with your colleagues right from the start. I'm also an angel investor in a woman-owned IT business that's starting to do well on the global stage. And I don't enjoy the angel investment as much as you obviously do. I'm a doer, and I've set up now 5 charities that are managerially and financially independent of me, and that is very like a business activity. I'm often asked for the secrets of success. One secret is to employ only people who are better than you are. And another one for women is to make sure that you choose your partner very carefully. Because the other day when I sort of said, my husband's an angel really, a woman complained. "You're lucky," she said, "mine's still alive." Although nowadays girls are getting the best marks in school and dominate many universities, there's still a need to promote positive role models. And so encourage critical thinking and engineering. And women too have to become creators as well as consumers, or rather than consumers. I mean, Britain has come a long way in levelling the playing field. Today we make up half of the workforce, whereas in the 60s, when I started, it was only a third. But we're still far from achieving equality in the leadership of enterprises, and that's why initiatives such as the Althea Innovation Prize is so important. Let me set out some facts. Whilst women across the world are starting in businesses at a higher rate than back when I founded my company, women today account for only a fifth of business owners in the UK. If you drill that number down to those who are leading STEM enterprises, that diminishes even further. As we've already heard, in terms of funding, the landscape really doesn't favour female business owners, and a gender bias does still exist. Women-led businesses get, you've had the figure before, 4.2%, remember that. 4.2% of venture capital funds go to the women. And this reluctance to fund women, it is a matter of groupthink and biases. They're hard to overcome in any society. And cloning is the biggest impediment to progress in venture capitalism. The UK has traditionally punched above its weight, but the US is outperforming us. If the UK could achieve the same levels of female entrepreneurship, Britain would gain 750,000 more businesses and add extra billions to the UK economy. So we know that there are significant opportunities for both the economy and society in general. How do women-led businesses perform? Female-run early-stage enterprises are 15% more likely to be profitable than male-run businesses. 15%, even though they are 40% less likely to be funded. And in the States, the Kaufman Foundation reported in 2012 that women entrepreneurs bring in 20% more revenue with only half the investment. In the UK, women accounted for an unprecedented 80% of the newly self-employed between 2008 and 2011. And the global interest in an awareness of women entrepreneurship has grown dramatically, and it receives 6 times the global press attention than even 2 years ago. So we're following a fashion. Imperial, together with others, is a corner of the global triangle of British universities, along with Oxford and Cambridge. It has a wonderful reputation in STEM subjects, an excellent match for the American social venture philanthropic Althea Foundation. I've known the founder and CEO, Alexis de Raat-St-James, for a long time. We've served on 2 not-for-profit boards together. She's always been passionate about women and is the very best of role models. So we haven't actually recognized Alexis before, but may I ask, thank you very much. STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, is worth 30% of the GDP, so it is important to invest in women in STEM. And we should not accept the existing status and waste investment, talent, and opportunity, especially as the key challenges of our time, renewable energy, food security, medical advances, they require diversity of technical and societal engagement. They need to be balanced. So what can one do to encourage more women in STEM to lead in entrepreneurship? To my fellow entrepreneurs, you too can be a role model for the next generation. Talk about your own journey. Share the challenges of yesterday and show how you overcame them to get to the successes of today. To the students here, and it's lovely to see some of you, step forward and take a risk in developing your idea through the Althea-Imperial Programme, and recognize that it's not just the individual, it's teamwork and collaboration that are also essential for success. And to all of you, please, support the ongoing program. It's an important program by volunteering your time or the time of your organization to inspire the next generation of enterprising and innovative women. Oh, how I wish this award had been around when I was starting out. Thank you very much.
Well, what inspiring words. Thank you so much for sharing the statistics, but most importantly for sharing your passion. And I think you are a role model for us all, whatever stage of our careers that we are in. So many thanks to both Dame Stephanie and Sherry for your talks. How do we think that the Althea-Imperial Programme is going to help the generation of the next Dame Stephanies and Sherrys? So at the moment, our students are sending us their ideas to enter the programme. So we're identifying project areas. But what a really important part of what we're trying to do here is support women through the process of developing their ideas to the point at which they become an idea that has a use for the market. So we're put in place a series of development sessions over a 5-month period called Challenge, Create, Lead, Fail, and Sell. And that bit about leading and failing we think is really important, particularly for women. to have the confidence and the resilience to understand that failing is just a part of learning, is something that we want to convey to our women. Between the sessions, the formal sessions that we'll be running, we're going to run one-to-one support sessions as well, which are going to be helped by many of the staff around the college to assess their ideas, advance them creatively and technically, to develop their leadership skills and mentor their ideas through to the final pitch. Our finalists that you've heard about before, our finalists will pitch to the judges that you've heard about before, who will decide on the winner of the £10,000 prize and a range of cash runners-up. And then we will be announcing our first winner of the Althea-Imperial Prize. But I think it is, as I've said, so much more than just a prize. It's a programme to support the development of women. And that is really, I think, where we've come on the journey over the last 18 months, from a concept that was around a prize to the programme that provides the support and mentorship that we feel our women will really appreciate and benefit from. So, your support. To make all of this possible, we're going to need your ongoing support. If you're a student, we need you to enter if you haven't already done so. If you're a staff member, we need you to support the students both technically and promote the programme to your students. And I'm delighted that some of my own students are in the audience today. To our external partners, we're looking for mentors from your organisations. Now, you should have received a registration pack today, and you'll find a postcard inside that. Please do complete this with your details and tick if you'd be willing to provide support to this programme in one of these ways, and we will be in contact with you. So leave the cards on your chairs or give them to one of the organisers, and we'll be in touch. Okay, to close, I want to start with a few thank yous. As you might imagine, there have been lots of people around the college involved in developing this initiative, and I can't mention them all, but I thank you all for the fantastic support that you've given. But I would especially like to thank a few of the people that have been most involved in this programme. Eileen Boyce, not sure where Eileen is, she's definitely here, who actually has supported me right from the beginning of this endeavour, kept me on track, made sure that we have the materials that we need when we needed them, and actually, most importantly, most recently, has made sure we've kept to budget. Eileen, thank you. Rebecca Middleton, who's brought her experience from working with students on other projects to this project. Bruno Cotter, who's actually done so much for student entrepreneurship at the college. And Liz Chunara, I'm not sure where Liz is, but a special thank you to Liz. Liz has really masterminded the development of the programme and taken it from an idea of a prize into this extended programme of activity for our students. And indeed persuaded a formidable bunch of mentors to get engaged in the programme. And of course, most importantly, Alexis. Many of you in this room will know Alexis and share, if you do, you're very fortunate, share my admiration for Alexis. For those of you who don't know her, I hope you will get to know her over the coming months and years. And Alexis, you are the most remarkable woman. We would not be here today were it not for your great passion, your enormous energy and drive, and your great generosity for supporting this programme. We thank you so much. So all that's left to say really is thank you so much for joining us this morning to launch this incredibly exciting new initiative. Thank you particularly to the students here who've already applied to take part. And we look forward to keeping in touch with you all throughout the development of this programme. There will be more nibbles and coffees and teas, please do take the opportunity to meet new people, to network, and help develop supporting this programme. Thank you very much indeed.